Hey, and welcome back to the channel. If you are curious about creating an offer, whether you want your business to be completely all online or you're a local business and you want to have a portion of your business online as an offer, we are going to walk through exactly how to create an authentic offer for your business, meaning deeply connected to you, what you do, your story, your experience, and translating that to this online space that might honestly seem extremely overwhelming right now. I've been a content strategist for ongoing 6 years now, and I actually started in the online space when I built my first business called Brilliant Pit. And it was a wellness product business. I was creating coffee eyebrow tint and rosemary hair oil. And I was also studying herbalism. So not only was I starting a business, but I was actually studying what I was creating and trying to create from an authentic space of inspiration and just pure purpose. Because I went to school for the other side of what I love, which is all things technology, photography, video, and media, I have been savvy about anything tech for basically my whole life. So when I went to college, I studied media production. I actually wanted to be a sound audio engineer, but didn't get into the major I wanted. So I ended up studying entertainment management, media, marketing, all of that. So all of that is to say that I was very, very good at creating content, and content creation was just becoming what we know it as today in 2020. It was super important for businesses to have a presence and be maintaining a presence. What ended up happening to me was I spent way too much time creating content, and I did not ever balance the work that I was doing with the business. So it was either create content, market the business, or create products. And there was a bit of a barrier for me to create products because I was also learning the craft. So I actually lost sight of the business altogether. I lost sight of how it could work and why I was just lacking so hard in the product creation side of things. And this was about the same time that I actually founded and established Essence Presents Production, because I had a really incredible community of artisans and creatives and solopreneurs who were in need of content and in need of photography and video so that they could promote their business. And I was there and I knew photography and I knew exactly how to serve them. So since 2020, I've been figuring out this online space, and not only figuring it out, but trying to help other crafters, creatives, and solopreneurs like you streamline it so that it doesn't take so much of your time and you don't get bogged down by all the advice, all of the options, and instead you have an evergreen, long-lasting content marketing system, an ecosystem that works based on buyer psychology, not trends, and therefore it can last you years and years and years, and it could just stay out of your way so that you can focus on what you love doing the most, which is crafting, creating, and doing what you love as a business owner. All I needed was a system like this when I was starting Brilliant Pit. And so I've basically taken it upon myself to build the very thing I needed for you. So let's get into the key points of building an online offer. The number one thing to consider is the lifestyle that you want to live. I know that seems kind of unrelated, but it actually is very much related to your satisfaction in this online offer that you're about to build and your fulfillment. Think genuinely about the time capacity you have, and if you're willing to run webinars and workshops and be there live for people online, if that is something that you want to offer. If it's not, can you templatize, can you productize this offer so that you are not needed constantly to manage it? If you ask me, I believe that there is a really good option here that is kind of a hybrid of both. I believe some of the best offers include the live time that you would be interacting with your customers, your clients, but I also believe that there should be a huge element of whatever you offer that is templatized, that is productized based on your knowledge of what you're offering. So if you can find a way to do both and equally integrate both of these kind of styles of an offer, I think not only are you going to feel fulfilled as you are being connective with your people, but you're also giving yourself the time freedom that you need and that you desire for your lifestyle. You started this business with a vision in your mind. Follow that vision and align that vision to this offer. Key point number 2 is find your unique method. This is basically your unique way of doing things. And your unique way of doing things actually is the translation of your value proposition in the market. Your unique method can also be translated to a crafter who puts certain ingredients in their products, or the very specific flow you teach in yoga. Is there a specific value that only derives from your unique experience? Ask yourself this and journal prompt on it. And I'll tell you a little secret, the answer is always yes. You do have something of value to offer, even if you believe that your experience isn't enough. What you've come from isn't enough. It hasn't taught you anything because maybe you think that your past has been really chaotic and not a linear path to where you are today. But what if I told you that's actually your superpower? I just explained my story to you. I literally, from the time that I was 10 years old, have been creating videos and downloading music online and doing all these things that were extremely tech heavy. And then all of a sudden, in 2020, when everything kind of broke down, I went into herbalism. I took an apprenticeship. I started studying with the Herbal Academy. And I found a really, really big fulfillment and purpose in studying spirituality and studying kind of modalities of spirituality and spiritual wellness. So these two things have nothing to do with each other. But there's a truth here. All of the work that I do as a brand photographer and videographer with Essence Presents ties in to my path that I took when I became really entangled with spirituality and meditating and finding my purpose. How is it entangled? Well, I actually serve specifically crafters, wellness businesses, and creative solopreneurs because those are the people that I actually was. I was a wellness business owner. I was a crafter for a hot second there. And now I am a creative solopreneur. And so not only am I a brand photographer and videographer, which is kind of not anything specific, not really unique, you're not really standing out if I were to just promote myself as a brand photographer and videographer, but I'm that who serves crafters, creatives, and solopreneurs. And there's something that then breaks open with that. When you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly the kind of photographer you are now. I know the exact kind of person you work with and what problems you can solve. So part of finding your unique method also incorporates positioning yourself as the unique person you are. And I don't care if you think that you're not, you really are unique in your own way, no matter what your path has been. My last key point for you today is all about your strategy for driving people to this offer. Once you decide on what you want to offer to your online community, you need to think thoroughly about how you are going to get people to this offer. I know it feels like a big mountain to climb when you think about getting traffic and driving people somewhere. Like, it feels somewhat insurmountable when you haven't ever done it before. And I just want to let you in on something that I know now that I did not know before I created my offer. If you are specific enough and you are willing to take people from one very, very specific problem to one very, very specific solution, and you do so in a way by talking through the very little features and the little steps that happen within your transformation through a long form piece of content, that is exactly how you can do this. So let me break this down further. In order to have a successful offer, you need to have a successful problem to solution storyline. In order to have a successful offer online, you really need to be speaking to one very specific solution in relation to one very specific problem. To give you an example of this, when somebody says a transformation like lose weight as a woman, right? Like, I help women lose weight. That's so broad. But if you take it up a step further and you say, I help 40-year-old plus women lose weight due to perimenopause and menopause, then you're getting another step deeper and closer to somebody who's actually really searching for a solution. Who are you really reaching if your solution is women who want to lose weight? You are pretty much reaching all women, okay? At some point or another, I think all women probably have dived into that search of like how to lose weight. But the more specific you can get and the more you can speak to the eyes scrolling through, who are you wanting to be like, oh, that's for me. Oh, this is exactly speaking to what I need. And so if your method can take people from a very specific problem to a very specific solution, and you have a very clear content strategy that takes people through this line from problem to solution, that is when you have an evergreen content ecosystem that works for you, not the other way around of you constantly running on a hamster wheel for it. Now, this content strategy should really be speaking to the buyer's journey, okay? So your content strategy should be aligning with this problem and solution that we keep talking about. But you want to reach people to wherever they're at on this journey, because you don't know if they just arrived at this problem and they're like, oh, I'm aware now that I have this problem. Let me search blank. Or if they've been in this problem for a while and they are looking deep, deep, deep into this to find out a solution for them. And then at that stage, it's kind of your job to prove to them through authority that you're the best fit for them. Or they might be nearly ready to buy something. And all you have to do in that stage is talk about the life improvement, life after the solution, and things of that nature. So let's break down everything we talked through today. You're gonna want to align your lifestyle to this offer. That means time management, anything that has to do with what you want it to look like, workshops, webinars, or finding a hybrid version of kind of personal you working with people plus productizing or templatizing your knowledge. Second is finding your unique method. No matter what, you do have a unique life experience. And the more you can leverage that experience in your method or your way of doing the thing that you offer, the better. And the more you're going to frame yourself as a very specific person who can serve a very specific audience. And lastly, we want to talk about the strategy for how you are getting people to this offer. You want to focus on the problem and the solution and have it be very, very clear what each of them are so that you can create content that ties people from the problem stage all the way to the solution stage, which is basically the conversion where people will buy from you. So I know this was a lot to take in, and you might be feeling like, well, I still have kind of this mindset about like trust and authority and like, am I in this space of being able to prove that I can do this? Is my experience valuable? Is my vision too large? And if you are in need of this kind of clarity shift in order to create an offer easily, I want you to check out this video right here next. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you over there. Bye.